big block. See, this ain't no regular right here. Like this block of gold. Shine.
Okay, it's my go. Glizzy, glizzy, hi ho. This about to go viral.
Marquise Amante King, aka Shy Glizzy, born December 12th, 1992. Today's feature is an artist I really liked back in 2014 after his song Awesome became popular along with his mixtape Young Jefe. At the time, Shy Glizzy was a young rapper from a place in DC. Rappers rarely become popular. Whenever I think of the DC area, only Wale comes to mind and go-go music until Shy Glizzy came onto the scene. What he had was important for rap success in that he was different. He had an interesting name that honestly did not age well, a unique voice which is always good when thinking of rap as a career path, and he seemed to have the streets behind him, enough to help him get out anyway, because one thing I've learned about DC, it's like Kansas City in a way, no one's ever really behind you. Shy Glizzy was supposed to represent the Southeast in a way never done before, and not too long ago, him becoming a huge rapper seemed inevitable. In 2015, he was included on the XXL Freshman list, a list comprised of hip-hop's brightest young stars, making a name for themselves and, at least according to XXL, the best chance to blow into household-named rappers. That 2015 list in 2022 became one of the worst lists in XXL history, as none of them actually blew up into what was expected. I also remember a 19-year-old Shy Glizzy beefing with a 17-year-old Chief Keef, only for Keef to evolve into a figure with a cult-like fan base, and Shy, a rapper not many even remember, still releases music. Music that isn't at all that bad, but a lot different than the fun-filled street hit Awesome was. Shy would be classified as a street rapper, and for street rappers, certain things have to happen to have success in that lane. Mainly, your name has to go unblemished, and the streets are the ones who choose you. After certain things happen, the streets disowned Shy Glizzy in a way, and the music industry followed suit. Something else that became popular in the 2010s was the independent artists using being independent as a badge of honor, that they, unlike everyone else, were able to become huge rappers without the help of the machine a label can be. The problem there is some rappers actually would have been better off aligning themselves with record labels as long as the contract suits you more than the label in the long run. Of course, it's admirable to retain your freedom, most the profits from your work, and most importantly your masters. But in some cases, you lose on the chance to blow up like you should have, and lose out on the back end anyway when fans stop caring and move on to someone else. Someone that's force-fed to them by a label. Did Shy Glizzy fall off? Why hasn't he been able to build on his earlier success and grow into the rapper he had the opportunity to be? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man.
Y'all ready to keep this thing moving?
Shy Glizzy is a rapper from Southeast DC whose father was killed at 19 years old before Shy was even a year old. Later on, he picked up a pen with intentions to write his own book, since he always liked reading books, but that book turned into a song and piqued his interest in music. Rap music was never a part of his household growing up, so he turned to the streets for that fix, and is where he began to be caught up in street activities that led him to juvenile detention. He changed his name from Young Gorgeous to Shy Glizzy, started Glizzy Gang, and began to take off as he dropped mixtape after mixtape like No Brainer and Street's Hottest Youngin'. In 2014, he released his most popular mixtape to date, Young Jefe, featuring his most well-known song, Awesome, and his name blew up into one of the most anticipated young rappers. One thing Shy had around this time was he was always working with a new rapper and making the connections it takes to survive in the rap game. His name was well on its way. Then these growth stunts happened. Stunt number 1, getting his chain snatched.
Bill should have did a song, nigga. We asked you nice to do a song. You said get the f out your face.
Come on, man.
In 2015, at one of his shows in Memphis, Tennessee, shots rang off and Shy Glizzy and crew scrambled to exit the building. In the melee, his chain was snatched off his neck, or according to him, the chain fell to the ground and Broke Boys had a scrimmage, picking it up and immediately making a video about the chain being snatched, claiming they did it because Shy refused them to their face and weren't so nice to the upstanding gentleman. Multiple videos of the chain arose on the internet and it went on its own tour from neighborhood to neighborhood in Memphis, held up as a trophy for the savages to gain some sort of respect. A $50,000 bounty was put on the chain for anyone looking to buy it back. Shy Glizzy responded with a diss track to the situation in a remix of OT Genesis and Young Dolph's Cut It song, which after Awesome and even though a remake, to me was Shy Glizzy's best song that perfectly showcased his potential as a rapper. A flawless diss record that included jabs at the guys who took the chain, using their own voice to make them seem desperate to work with Lord Glizzy. He also threw jabs at DJ academics who made jokes about the snatching, and it all came together to make that version better than the original in my opinion. Not long after, Black Youngster, a Memphis rapper, paid $10,000 to get the chain back and returned it to Glizzy without asking for anything in return, but the damage was already done. As a street rapper, getting your chain taken in any way and having it paraded around the internet is a no-no. Also, getting it back only because another rapper got it back for you adds fuel to the fire of hurting your street cred. It seems after that incident, Shy Glizzy was never the same. He lost his street buzz in that moment, and everywhere he went after, he was asked about that situation instead of the music. Stunt number 2, the music changed / hiatus. After the chain snatching occurrence, no question Shy Glizzy's brand took a major hit. Still, he was able to move on from it and continued to release music through mixtapes. It wouldn't be until 2018 that a full-length album released from Shy Glizzy though, and by that time, a new wave of rappers had entered the game and Shy became a thing of the past. In a way, he missed his window of when he was supposed to blow, and the chain snatching had a lot to do with it. But also by then, Shy had lost some of his close friends by the name 30 Glizzy and Scooter, who were both killed, and admittedly, it changed who he was and made him realize he wasn't moving like the man he wanted to be. His music started to become more personal, about having to grow and survive the streets, and not about having fun like it was before. This may have made the rest of his fans who stood by him during the chain snatching embarrassment also leave, because personal was not why they became fans in the first place. He later admits that this was a mistake and pledged to make more fun songs like Awesome again. Young Jefe 3 released in 2020 and was a lot more lighthearted than mixtapes prior to and post Awesome, but by then I think his window was already closed. Stunt number 3, should have signed. In my opinion, Shy Glizzy should have taken a label deal. Of course, the right one, but he wasn't a rapper that could blow being independent. He was young and needed the guidance a label would have given him. Of course, a good deal that still allowed him to be himself and release music as he saw fit, but one that could have structured his career better, had a great PR team to help him bounce back after the chain incident and not lose his street fans by spinning it however they are great at doing. And one that could have prevented him from changing what worked for him, only to come back to it years later when it was too late. Features, outside rap opportunities like commercials, placement at big-time events to help his image, and constant presentation to capitalize on the buzz he had in 2014-15. Yes, being independent gave him the freedom to take time off and grieve his friends and get his mind right, but in that time he could have had a label working for him instead of the pressure of having to do it yourself or take a poorly timed break. All in all, Shy Glizzy is still a decent rapper and a better artist. He was made for rap stardom, especially in the era he came up in, but a few mistakes took that glory away before it really got started, and he never regained that spot he had before. Salute to Shy Glizzy, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.